May 22nd, 1976. A rather unusual sight took place at Tsukishima Pier in Tokyo. From early in the morning, many people were busy preparations for their voyage. A crowd of well-wishers were standing by. In commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Japan Radio Amateur League, the American Radio Relay League officially announced that the league will recognize the island of Okino Torishima, located in the southernmost part of the Japanese archipelago. Without losing much time, the Executive Committee for the 50th Anniversary Commemorative Functions organized an expert subcommittee for the Okino Torishima DX-pedition in order to study the feasibility of this project from all angles. Members of this DX-pedition were selected very carefully because it is extremely difficult to operate an amateur radio station on the island. And today, the team sets out for its destination. Mr. Hada, chairman of JARL, presents the team with the license 7J1RL. JARL の DX-pedition として恥じない功績を遂行してまいるつもりでおります。With many well-wishers wishing them bon voyage. The boat passes the western coast of Hachijojima Island on May 23rd and heads due south. At 11 a.m. on May 23rd, Smith Rock, the so-called Phantom Island, was sighted. At the regular traffic time in the morning, the location of the boat was transmitted to the headquarters, together with the news that everyone was in high spirits. At 4 p.m. the same day, the island of Torishima was sighted. The top of the island was covered by dense clouds, and we could not see the smoke of the volcano. The island is not inhabited now, but the weather station was clearly visible halfway up the hill. A tropical storm, which had been spotted sometime before departure, had now grown into Typhoon number 6 and was moving steadily northward. Towards evening of the same day, the ocean became rough. If we continued in the same direction, we would hit the typhoon. Therefore, the captain of the boat recommended taking shelter at Chichijima in the Ogasawara Islands. May 24th. The typhoon was still heading north, threatening to cross our path. At 1 p.m., we put into Futami port of Chichijima. May 25th. The typhoon passes 43 miles off the Chichijima coast. Although the typhoon was gone, it left big swells in its trail. If we put to sea today, we would reach our destination on the night of May 28th. Therefore, the departure was put off till the following day. May 27th. The boat left for Okino Torishima at 9 a.m. under blue skies. Five days have passed since we left Tokyo. The island of Okino Torishima is an atoll located about 864 miles to the south of Kii Peninsula at 20 degrees 25 minutes north and 136 degrees 3 minutes east. The island is about 486 miles away from Chichijima. We still have to spend 2 days and 2 nights aboard the boat. No one has ever been to this island. Loran and the chart are the only guides for us. The boat heads south by southwest. May 28th. No one has gotten seasick. We report this to our headquarters, adding that all of us are in good shape. We are scheduled to arrive at Okino Torishima tomorrow. We wasted 2 days at Chichijima on account of the typhoon. In order to make up lost time, we began making preparations in the hold. Tools and materials required for putting up the radio station are strapped to the raft, which will be pulled by the shuttle boat. This will lighten the load of the boat so that it can make fewer trips back and forth. Did the typhoon cause any damage? Was everyone all right? When will you land? Ham radio operators all over the world anxiously await the news. The air is tense with emotion. May 29th. Morning dawns. Today we are supposed to land. The captain looks into the Loran. He then places a scale on the Loran chart and says that Okino Torishima must be on this line. All eyes are fixed on the horizon. The reef breakers lie right ahead of us. The white reef rises just above the horizon. This is our destination, Okino Torishima. It has been a full 7 days since we left Tokyo. JG1 GPB, an expert diver, JF1 IST, responsible for equipment installation, and the leader, JA1 HQG, make up the first landing team. All communication between the survey team and the boat was made on 430 megahertz band utilizing transceivers. The operation goes according to schedule. At low tide, the concrete foundation of a lighthouse is visible. The foundation had been built before World War II, but construction was suspended when the war broke out. Foundation construction work for the radio station must be done at low tide. The 30-foot antenna tower is erected in a wing. We have to await high tide so that it will float the raft of empty drum cans. This raft will be placed atop the concrete foundation for the shack. At 3 p.m., the tide begins to come in. In order to save time, the power generator is installed atop the shack frame while the raft remains afloat. It was at this time that an unexpected accident happened. The raft capsized as too many people were on one side. It throws everyone into the water, including the 2 generators. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but the accident taught us a good lesson. The generators had to be recovered from the 18-foot deep waters. Transceivers are loaded onto the shuttle boat. Operations continue. The work was hard and tough. It was also a struggle against nature. Time offered us little mercy. When darkness came, it became too risky to continue working. At 7 p.m., we suspended the work. We returned to the boat and reported the day's progress to headquarters. It was hard for us to apologize to all the ham operators who were impatiently awaiting for our first call. It was a trying day, both physically and mentally. On board the boat that evening, we had to reassemble the two generators after cleaning and repairing them. May 30th. The boat approached the island once again. We confirmed that the radio shack, the generator shack, and the antenna were all safe. The previous day's lesson had taught us to be more careful this time. We lost no time in starting the small spare power generator. At this time, JA2HNP swam across the high tide, climbed up the transmission shack, took out the receiver, and began his transmission. At 9:10 a.m., the voice of 7J1RL was heard for the first time. Then, drenched to the skin, operator JA1BTH also made his way to the shack. It wasn't long before there was a pile-up from operators all over the world. Everybody was excited. From Okino Torishima, our message beamed straight into the hall of Takaoka, Toyama Prefecture, where the 18th General Assembly of JARL was underway. Toward noon, the beam antenna was hooked up, and this gave much more power to 7J1RL. The drum cans were removed from the raft and the shack was reinforced by stay wires.
K5 Bravo, George Bravo.
The power generator began operating smoothly. In the afternoon, the linear amplifier was hooked up and the operation began as planned. 4 operators were left behind to operate the station 24 hours a day. The other 6 retired to the boat. The second day since operation began. JARL was successful in the planned 24-hour operation. The changeover of operators. These are the dipole antennas for 1.9 and 3.5 megahertz. Both ends are tied to a rope, which is in turn fastened to the bed of coral. A full day was spent in putting up the antennas so that the station could be operated on all bands and in all modes. The first transmission is by the 14 AVQ antenna. The 5-element Yagi for 50 megahertz, and a vertical antenna for use on 3.8 megahertz and 7 megahertz. At 3 p.m., everything was finished and we were ready to go. This is the end of the rope fastened to the reef. A view of the 7J1RL station, completed in just 3 days since the island was sighted. JA1IIB tries his best to answer the calls coming through the terrible pileup.
Papa 0 uniform, Papa 0 uniform, brother. JG1 Pizza 2, 59 です、どうぞ。はい、ね、今日はです。59, go ahead.
This is operator JA1NRH. It was not easy to get out on 2 frequencies in this small shack at the same time.
Okay, QSN, the QRZ. Germany QRZ, go ahead. Okay, so Mexico Oscar Kilo, 59. Kilo 7, Mexico Oscar Kilo. Mexico Oscar Kilo, is that right?
We noticed something unusual tonight. There should be a low and a high tide twice a day. Tonight, there is a new moon, and we should have a very low tide. We were able to see the concrete foundation clearly above the surface of the sea yesterday afternoon, but now, 12 hours later, the foundation did not come up. We could not clarify this phenomenon. June 1st. The weather map shows a high pressure over the entire area with very little wind velocity. We hope that this good weather condition would hold up. The tropical fish seem puzzled at encountering these iron pipes of 7J1RL, which intruded into their territory. We were favored since early this morning with E-sporadics on 50 megahertz. 3 operators had to be on the air at the same time and each on his own band. The small shack became very crowded. Already, 2 days have passed since we began operation. The shack begins to show signs of being lived in. String is used to hang small items so that they will not fall through the cracks in the floor and into the sea. Even the team leader seems to find time to help out with the transmission.
W6 Pacific Ocean, W6 Pacific Ocean, 59.
During the day, everything seems calm and peaceful. No one could have imagined that just a few days ago, the generators had been dropped into the sea, and the sea had been an angry enemy. A tropical sunset has to be seen to be appreciated. We had to supply fuel for the generator every 5 or 6 hours, day and night. Bands to the east coast of the U.S. opened toward evening. This made the operators even busier. JA9AG has his hands full handling the many calls.
Whiskey to Tango Cover 5-5, over. Thank you very much. 73 kilos, 200 up. W1 Japan, France, Canada. Whiskey 1 Japan, France, Canada. QS, you are 4x4. Whiskey 1 Japan, Foxtrot, Canada. Whiskey 1 Japan, Foxtrot, Canada. 4 and 4, 4x4, over.
At night, refueling is a dangerous task for the operator. He has to hang on to the rope when moving between the operator house and the power shack. June 2nd, morning breaks. Today is our last day on the island. Our task has been accomplished. Ham operators everywhere are grateful to each and every member of the team for fulfilling his mission, and to the crew of the Kyosho Maru number 20 who supported the mission.
JARL.
The station will close down in a few hours. Stations all over the world which have been standing by to contact us now make one last try.
Tokyo Kilo Charlie 59.
In the afternoon, we switched over to temporary operation on the minimum required equipment.
Papa Delta November 59.
Dismantling of the station begins with the power shack. The shuttle boat leaves the island carrying the equipment to the Kyosho Maru. In order to service as many stations as possible until the last moment, we began temporary operation with one table, one transceiver, and one 14 AVQ antenna.
Whiskey 5, Kilo Cherry Romeo, 59, go ahead.
This had been our home for 4 days, and leaving made us all a little sad. Dismantling of the station is completed. At 3:50 p.m., we announced to all the amateur radio operators in the world that station 7J1RL was signing off.
Ladies and gentlemen in the world, sayonara from Okino Torishima. This is 7J1RL. 7J1RL. Now QRT 73. Bye-bye. Sayonara.
At 4 p.m., we all boarded the shuttle boat and left the island. In commemoration of our operation, we left behind on the island our station plate and bid farewell to Okino Torishima. We wondered if there would ever be another transmission from this island. Nobody spoke a word, but our hearts were sadly saying goodbye. The DX-pedition is over. 7J1RL worked 70 countries and almost 9,000 stations. Its call sign is now registered in the logbooks of these 9,000 stations. Thanks to the cooperation of people everywhere related to the project, an unforgettable chapter was added to the pages of the World Book of Ham Radio.